So you're going to be a part of Final Battle December 15th in a championship match. What's it like for you to be in this spot on Ring of Honor's biggest show of the year?
It's a blessing. And, growing up the way I did and coming from where I come from, I'm already way further than I ever thought that I was going to be, So having this opportunity with a company like Ring of Honor, with the legacy that they have, with the stars that they've made, and where they're at now and where they're going is incredible. Basically my rookie year, and by the end of it, I am on the biggest show of the year, fighting for a world championship against three of the very best. So I couldn't be happier.
What was the signing process like for you in Ring of Honor? Like, how did they get in contact with you, or how did you get in contact with them? How did that go for you?
The signing process for me was a little different than most. Most of the time, they you have to go to the Ring of Honor camps and tryouts, and they have to see you and evaluate you, and that whole nine. But for me, living in Texas, my trainer is Raymond Rowe. So when they came through and toured Texas, I made my face seen. I talked to people, networked, and waited about, and kept doing that, and waited for about maybe a year and a half, close to 2 years, and then started to get booked on the shows pretty regularly.
It seems like they're in the Texas area all the time now.
Yeah, I mean they're touring there more and more, which is good. Then that means the shows are successful and fans are demanding that they come back, and that's great news for me. Living here in Houston, would love to be able to bring Ring of Honor to even more cities down here and really help expand those markets.
Earlier this year, and really last year as well, you had teamed with Keith Lee, and you all had a lot of success earlier this year. Then he was gone in a bit of a flash. How close were you and Keith?
Oh, we're still close. Keith is the man. I'm incredibly proud of the things that he's doing. He's getting to go all over the world and showcase his talent. Couldn't be happier for him. We were doing our thing as a team, and we still do outside of TV company stuff. But ultimately, when him and I talked, we decided, hey, you got to do the best thing for you and your family. I've got to do the best thing for mine. And the goal when we teamed up was for both of us to get jobs. It just so happened that they were with two different companies.
So, I mean, like I said, that it seemed to happen all like really, really fast. How far ahead did you know that your tag team partner would be heading to a different company, a bit of a competing company?
I didn't know for sure. I knew he was weighing a lot of options, and I knew which way he was leaning towards. But like I told him, and like I told other people who have asked me, my job was to be a star with or without him. So in my head, I knew what he was leaning towards. So I made sure to mentally prepare myself to be solo. And if he decided to stay, great. If he didn't, no problem. So that was the way that I approached it.
Since then, you've went on and you've met success as a singles wrestler. How has that transition been for you?
It's been fine. I was a singles wrestler, and I've been one for most of my career outside of teaming up with Keith. So it was really just sort of back to normal for me. And then I had the brief stint in the Rebellion with Kenny King, who is now the Ring of Honor television champion, Caprice Coleman, and Rhett Titus. And what that allowed me to do in that group was to sort of ease my way back into things and sort of find my own voice within that. And now that's transformed me into the performer that I am now.
Now, we've seen the relationship between Ring of Honor and New Japan grow. You were part of those ROH New Japan shows as well. Do you have any desire to work separately with New Japan as well? We see them gaining a presence in the States.
Always. New Japan is an incredible company. They are on fire right now with, of course, spearheaded by Okada and Omega. And I had the chance, as you mentioned, to go against Hiroki Goto in Toronto, and that was one of my favorite matches so far. I'm looking forward to stepping in the ring with him again, hopefully, or Ishii or any of those guys, whether it be here in the States for Ring of Honor or whether they come here for their next special or whether it's overseas in Japan. Anytime you get in there with those guys, you want to test yourself because they're some of the very best in the world.
What kind of challenges do you face in a match like Hiroki Goto, where you might not speak the same language as the guy, but you're really happy with the final result?
That's a very good question. Most of the time, man, like when you're dealing with guys as professional as they are, the language barrier really doesn't mean a whole lot. That was one of the, toughest, hardest hitting, but yet easiest matches of my career. And when you're out there, you just pick up on certain things and you move a certain way and guys know what to do, So, it was a lot of fun. And like I said, I can't wait to do it again.
Ring of Honor is in a really, really unique place right now. They're still, they're emerging. They're on pay-per-view. They're all over TV, but they're owned by a major corporation. So there's never any danger of your company going out of business with something like that. Mm-hmm. But meanwhile, you've got this crazy 3 or 4 weeks for Ring of Honor and New Japan coming up. What do you think this next month in particular means for Ring of Honor and that New Japan connection?
It's everything. This is what we've been building towards. This is what we work all year for. So nobody is trying to carry the ball all the way downfield and fumble at the goal line, so to speak. So to end the year with a bang is everybody's goal. And of course, Final Battle being our biggest show of the year, everybody from top to bottom is going to want to put on one hell of a show, and we're definitely going to do that.
Do you think Bullet Club's ribs on Flip Gordon are harmful or harmless?
I mean, that's all a matter of perspective then, I guess. And I'm sure to them, they're cool with it. It's harmless. I'm sure to Flip, it's harmful. Me being an unbiased third party, I've done some work for the club and Cody, and as long as the check's clear, I'm kind of on their side, man. So it is what it is.
Their being the Elite Series has really transcended just them, and they are integrating all these other people in it to the point to where the 6-man tag match features that. It features the Young Bucks and Adam Page against Flip Gordon, who's been featured in those. When they're filming those backstage, what's the reception like while they're doing that? Because I mean, it's almost official Ring of Honor programming at this point because it's integrated into the show so much.
Mm-hmm. I mean, most of the time, honestly, if they just go off and film it somewhere, so they're not usually backstage doing it. So it's not really disrupting anything or changing the flow of anything.
Unless it's Chuck Taylor knocking a coffee out of somebody's hands.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's just Chuck Taylor, I guess. I'm just starting to get to know the dude. Apparently, they say he's a real dick, and not cussing anything, but yeah, that's what they say.
I'm also working on a piece about the NWA and the reemergence of them, at least from a digital perspective. Their champion is Tim Storm, and I saw that you worked with him a couple years ago What was that experience like?
Oh, Tim Storm's great. You know, real old school dude, real professional, hard worker, hard hitter. He is the guy that they need right now, and he's the guy that is shouldering that load. You know, and that's a lot of pressure when you're dealing with the legacy of those three letters and carrying that championship. So anybody that can do it the way Tim has, with that sort of class, you know, is always going to be one of the very best. And I wish him nothing but the best of luck.
Now, you've had a big 2017. You've transitioned from what was set to be a dominant tag team, and by the end of the year, you're in a championship match. What do you see for your 2018?
2018 is going to be even better than 2017 was. On Twitter, Kevin Kelly said that he predicts that I'm going to be Ring of Honor's breakout star in 2018. And I told him I'm going to make him look like Nostradamus because I'm going to make that come true. I am getting better with every match, getting more comfortable, not only with myself, but with the Ring of Honor crowd. Every single time I go out there, and I'm only going to get better. So 2018 is going to be a big, big year for Shane Taylor.
You've been in the ring with the man you said trained you in, Rowe, several times. What kind of dynamic is that, knowing that a lot of what you learned came from this guy that you're hitting in the face across the ring from you?
I mean, that's just us. Like, you know, both of us coming from the east side of Cleveland, we grew up fighting. So for us, it gets amped up even more because you know what the other guy can bring, because you know there's no secrets. You know, he's seen me for, you know, over 10 years now, you know, and he knows that it's going to be a fight. He knows that it's going to be tough. He knows that I'm going to go out there and push him to his very limits, and likewise with him. So it's fun. It's always fun. You know, I enjoy getting hit. So does he. And most people can't take that, you know. So it's always a real good time.
Now, your opponents on December 15th are Kenny King, Punishment Martinez, Silas Young. Which of those do you look forward to hitting the most?
All of them. But since Kenny King has the title, he's got the crown, I am looking forward to knocking that off first. You know, with Kenny, you've got a guy that, you know, has gone through a lot, and is still one of the very best in the world, and he's in that Ring of Honor television championship proves it. And then you got Punishment Martinez, who is one of the most agile big men in the game, and he's a hard hitter as well. And Silas Young is just a super tough dude, just gritty and just down to fight all the time. And of course, he's always got Beer City Bruiser with him, so that's another wild card that you have to look out for. So, got my hands full going into December 15th, but with my right hand, I'm going to cock it back and let it fly, man, and let the body start dropping.
Shane, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me.
Oh, thank you for having me, man. It's an honor and a privilege.